Hello and welcome to today's video. My name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns and I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through my website YarnAddict.co.uk. Welcome to today's video, which is a review of my design in Knitting Magazine issue 242. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. So today I'm going to talk about my design for Knitting Magazine issue 242, which is in the shops in the UK now. The magazine will be in the shops when this video is live on YouTube. At the time of filming this, which I think is the day before the magazine is due out, I have not received my copy of the magazine yet. So, but because it's Easter this weekend, I wanted to film this just because of time, and then hopefully the magazine will arrive tomorrow and I can film a little look through the magazine and show you what this design looked like modeled, and then edit it all together. So this is my design for issue 242 of Knitting Magazine. The theme for this issue was garter stitch, combined with other stitch patterns, and the yarn kind of brief was rustic yarns or sheepy yarns, or yarns in natural sheep colours, something like that. I can't remember. It's natural looking yarns and garter stitch. So this was the design, one of the designs I submitted, and the design that got chosen for this issue. It is a cardigan. The body has a garter stitch lacy pattern, so it has these twists that goes up, which is has got the yarn in it, so that's technically lace. Now normally I would use that stitch pattern with pearl stitches in between, so it's like a garter rib, but instead of the pearl stitches I did slightly wider panels of garter stitch, and then the sleeves are just knitted in garter stitch, and I'll come on to the sleeves in a minute. This cardigan uses my favorite construction method, which is knitted from the top, so you cast them down here, did the edging, the rib in this natural brown color, and then changed to the lighter color and knitted it in one piece. Obviously because it's a cardigan, it was knitted back and forth, not in the round, but up to the underarms, and then the front and the back was knitted separately to the shoulders. So the back was knitted first, and then each of the two fronts, and then they were joined up here by working a 3-needle cast off, which gives you a really nice shoulder join. And then stitches were picked up for the sleeves around the armhole, so it has set-in sleeves. Stitches were picked up all the way around the armhole, and the sleeve cap was worked back and forth to start with, using short rows to shape the sleeve caps, and then it was knitted in the round. Let me just show you the sleeve caps, because I really like, this is the first time I think I've done this kind of sleeve construction in garter stitch, and I really like it. It looks so neat. One of my sample knitters knitted this and she did an absolutely amazing job. Obviously when you get to the underarm here and you finish the back and forth sleeve short row shaping, sleeve cap short row shaping, then you have to knit sleeves in the round, and as you're doing that in garter stitch, that means knitting one round and purling one round. I did consider knitting the sleeves back and forth so you can just knit every row, but because you've stitches all the way around, it made it too awkward to knit back and forth, so it was easier to knit in the round, even if that means you do have to purl every other round, because you are knitting garter stitch. And then it finishes off with a garter stitch hem knitted in the same color as the hem at the bottom here. The hem at the bottom is a garter rib, so it has columns of knit stitches and then columns of garter stitch, which then flows into, hang on, let me lift this up again. So if you see here the rib, there's knit stitches here, and here where it should normally be pearl stitches to form a rib, it's garter stitches, which flows into this garter stitch section here, and these knit columns flow into this lacy twist up here. The lacy twist is repeated on the back as well. This cardigan is a little bit big for my dress form, which, as I've said before, if you watch this video, this dress form is a slightly odd shape. And then at the end I picked up stitches for the neck edging first. The stitches were picked up all the way around neck edging and worked back and forth in garter stitch, and then stitches were picked up for the button bands, and that was knitted back and forth in garter stitch as well. Obviously, if you don't want like a two-tone cardigan, you can do it all in one color. And if you don't want this slightly rustic yarn, then you can obviously do it in a softer merino. So as I mentioned before, the yarn is Cascade Yarns Eco Merino DK, and it is slightly more rustic considering the fact that it's merino. I think I was expecting it to be a bit softer, but it is a little bit more rustic feeling rather than the normal soft merino that we're used to. So if you do like softer yarns, Cascade Yarns have loads and loads of different yarns. If you like softer yarns, I would probably choose a softer merino DK rather than this more rustic version. And you can obviously do it all in one colour if you prefer that rather than the two-tone. What do I think about this yarn? As I said, it's a little bit more rustic than what my personal preferences are. The yarn isn't sort of too super soft and too drapey, so it's very good for stitch patterns that requires a yarn that kind of holds its shape a little bit more. I can't think of the exact word I'm looking for. It might come to me in a minute, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I would definitely use this yarn again. For me personally, I like really soft silky yarns because I have a slight sensitivity towards more kind of woolier wools, if you like. So if you do have that, then I would go for a softer merino. But Cascade Yarns have got so many yarns to choose from, and you can easily substitute another yarn. Just check that you got the right tension. I do have a separate video on how to substitute yarns, which I will link below this video, and I'll also link it at the end. So do check that out as well. So this is issue 242 of Knitting Magazine. Once the magazine actually arrives, I will film a little look through the magazine and add that to this video. So let's take a look through Knitting, issue 242. Love that design on the cover, that's very attractive. So the theme was garter stitch. That's, I guess, an overview of some of the designs that are in this issue. We got some news pages. Okay, so I don't want to show you everything. Some new stuff, new products. I love looking at those kind of things. Oh, and this is James McIntosh, who runs McIntosh Yarns. I've used his yarns quite a few times now, and he did a TEDx talk at King's College in London. So I'm looking forward to reading that article. All the knitters love. What's it say? What do you knit? Knitting readers share the reasons why they love their craft so much. So that'll be interesting to read. A thing about Ruth Allis Rand starting a fashion brand. That's interesting. And then some book reviews, some yarn reviews, and then we got 50 Shades of Sheep. So it's a kind of sheepy issue. Shawl, another shawl, that's pretty. Who's that by? So that's, I think that's Emma Vining, I think. That's pretty. That's Pat Mancini. That is also Pat Mancini. So both of these are Pat Mancini. That is my design, which is Cascade Yarns Eco Merino DK. And then we have a shawl from Christine Boggis, who's also the editor of Knitting Magazine. Love that. And then we have Jo Allport. That's pretty. And Eline Oftedal, she's Norwegian. It's lovely to see her in here as well. And this one is a Boucher de France design. And then we got like a style file where they take 3 designs and show it in different colors and what you can style it with. So I like that. Men's design. That's the Drops design, and that's a Martin Story design. And some kids designs, Ask Sarah, some technique stuff, and then we've got all the patterns at the back, and then Pearl Town at the end. And what's coming next month. Yeah, so it looks like a great issue. That's from the previous issue. That's my design that was on the cover of a previous issue. So, looking forward to sitting down and reading this properly later. I just picked it up. My copy hasn't arrived yet, so I just picked this up from the local newsagent, so I could finish this video, basically. So, quite excited to see it, and I'm looking forward to sitting down and reading it over the Easter weekend. So I hope you enjoyed this little look at Knitting Magazine, issue 242, in the shops in the UK now, and you enjoyed a look at my design for this issue. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.